Today on the cheap Jeep, we are changing, well, we're draining some of the transmission fluid. I'm just going to drain the pan. 14 millimeter bolt. You just take out. I'm not going to change the filter yet because I'm going to run some new fluid through it. I'm not going to flush it because that'll mess these old transmissions up. So I'm just going to change the fluid, or just let all this fluid come out of the pan. It's been draining for a few minutes. And then I'm going to fill it back up with regular fluid, drive it around for a few weeks, I guess, and then eventually change the filter. And I'm also going to change the transfer case fluid. You have a lower bolt here, which you take out. It's not a bolt, it's a recessed hex nut. And then, see what size it is. It is a 10 millimeter hex bolt. So you want to take the top one out first, because this is your fill one. And if you take this one out and you can't get that one out, you won't be able to fill it. So you take this one out first, and then take this one out and it'll drain. It just takes regular transmission fluid, Mercon 3 or whatever this takes. And then you fill it up through here until it starts coming out. But I got to spray this with PB Blaster because it's not wanting to move, and I don't want to strip it or mess the heads up. Looks like this has probably never been changed. And this looks like it has the let's see, where's that thing at? Right there. 2:7:2 ratio. I'm not sure. This was old dirt dauber nest on it. It's just like cement. So I'll eventually clean that to see what actual kind of transfer case, but it's just a standard select track, I think. Man, this thing was rough. Alright, I think this is drained enough. I bet this is real dark. Let's see. Gross. Ooh, it's black. Alright, we're going to try this cheap Harbor Freight multi-use transfer pump. Pumping some of Walmart's finest into the transfer case. Let's see if this works. Alright, it looks pretty easy. You just hook one of the hoses here, one of the hoses here. This is your discharge and intake. So the top one goes into here. And the bottom one's going to go into there. Alright, we're going to take our plug here and put it back in. Okay, in is there and out is there. So we're going to take the out. Going out. And we're going to put it right in there. Now when oil starts flowing out of here, or fluid, then that's full. Okay, got it in there. Got it going up into there, and we'll start pumping. Can't really do this one-handed, but I'll let you know if it works. Oh, this pump works good, but you better make sure that's on because it went everywhere. It flew off and the fluid went everywhere, but it does work. Alright, I couldn't film it, but this is what you want. This worked perfect. It's just like a big syringe. You suck all of it up and you stick it in there, and it's now coming out, so we're ready to put the bolt on. The new fluid is coming out of the fill hole, so we're going to put the bolt back in. Alright. Got the bolts back in. We're going to clean it up a little bit. Only the finest chemicals. I had to tighten up my pan bolt. I just got to replace what we took out in here. Perfect. All right, we just finished the oil transmission fluid, excuse me, and it's shifting real smooth. But it shifted smooth anyway before the fluid change, so just another Jeep update. Now this by no means is a how-to video. This just shows you, it's part of the episode of what you got to do if you get a cheap Jeep. Put cheap fluids to get this thing road worthy. I'm also going to try to change these shock absorbers. You take this top nut off, it's 14 millimeter. And you got to change these. Alright, this lower shock bolt that's swollen and it's pushing up against it. I'm going to have to chisel that out to get that lower shock bolt out. Alright, I got the bolts out. Let's see if this thing will come out. There we go. Look at here. Nasty. Here's our old one and here's our new one. Look at the difference in the piston size. This is much better and beefier. These are Gabriel's, only $9 at AutoZone, discontinued. I'm not sure the regular price, but you can't beat $9. It came with new hardware for the top, but I got to reuse those bolts, so I'm going to go clean them up. Alright, I got my bolts cleaned up. Since this one's gas charged, what you do is you do the bottom first, and then you cut this, and it'll shoot up into the top hole. Always put some anti-seize on these things. Time to put our top bushing on, so you want to take this, put it like this, take your bushing, have this part toward the top, and hook it in the bottom, cut this and let it shoot on up. There. Okay, we got our bolts all on there, good and tight. We're about to go up through this hole here. You can see it. So let's get ready to go. You take this and you cut it and it'll rise on up. I'm not gonna, well, I might can hold it. Let's see. Where do I want to cut it at? Alright, watch it rise on up. There you go. Okay, I'm going to put a little anti-seize on this. And then we have got our grommet, which this goes down that, because that little piece goes into the hole, so it goes like that. Well, this goes over it like that. And you put your nut on it. And that's all there is to it. And the other side's just the same. So, thanks for watching.